हंकेन मनी सिम्मो के जी के महरम मनी हंकेन मनी मिस्को मलारे हंकेन मुद्दती बित मन दिस्ता ती खुमारे बेगा रोज इस्तीनो हतम कैफो सबा कोह दमग अंदेमा मुद्दती बित के तई चारगे निमोन कोता गोंती बेवा बेहयाला मनी अरवा बस्ता मन तेरे ते आजते कैसा गिफ्ता चून कना चाकरी कोट मना शागिरते चाकरी कोट कशा नश्त नवाचे बिकना मनी हंकेन मनी मक्का है सारते साहेग चाकरी तौक मनी आजगी गुट्टा लूपे सांकलान दस्त मनी
Hello and welcome to NDTV. I am Aditya Raj Kaul. The blockbuster film Dhurandhar has created waves all across the world, but it has also done something more profound. It has brought global attention to a long, painful and largely forgotten struggle, the resistance of the Baloch civil society against the tyranny of the Pakistani state. While the audiences saw a glimpse of the Baloch culture and danced to the tunes of Fliperachi's Fasla, in reality, the Baloch are longing for the world to hear their pleas.
عندي خوش فصلة يا أخي تفوز والله خوش رقصة يا أخي دوس عندي خوش فصلة يا أخي تفوز والله خوش رقصة عندي لك رقصة قوية يا الحبيب اسمها الصبوحة خطبها نصيب مد يدك كنا بتعطيها كف وهز شتفك هيل خليك شبيب.
From the killing fields of Baloch lands to the unmarked graves, from the enforced disappearances of the thousands to the abduction of activists whose only crime was demanding justice. This is a story written in blood and silence. I served as a research consultant for the blockbuster film Dhurandhar, and today I bring you the story that history books ignored and power corridors have erased the story of this Baloch struggle. On the NDTV special broadcast today, we focus on the conflict Pakistan has spent decades trying to bury through censorship and mass arrests and brutal military force.
Balochistan was a free land.
Pakistan has occupied our land.
What they gave us: slavery, occupation, suppression, brutality, killing them.
This is the story of a people fighting for dignity, identity, and freedom. Balochistan, rich in gas, gold, copper, and now rare earth minerals, has become the battleground, not just for territory, but for survival itself. From enforced disappearances to deadly insurgent attacks. From women suicide bombers to peaceful protesters jailed for demanding basic rights. Pakistan's government calls this a law and order problem, but Baloch activists call it what they believe it truly is: colonial occupation. The recent hijacking of the Jafar Express train, which had dozens dead, once again exposed how deep and how dangerous this conflict has become. Today, we take a deep dive into Baloch struggle. The role of the Pakistan Army, the rise of the armed resistance, and the silencing of the peaceful voices, and the growing fear that the Baloch land itself may now be up for sale to global powers. This is Balochistan, and this is the war Pakistan doesn't want the world to see.
Pakistan, in the name of Islam, occupied Balochistan in the name of brotherhood and religion. They took over the resources of Balochistan. They took over the freedom of Baloch people, and what they gave us is slavery, occupation, suppression, brutality, kill and dump, drugs.
Pakistani authorities, they have continued their suppressive policies against the Baloch people, and all those people who are calling for the right to self-determination, even the people who even support these demands, are being forcibly abducted and extrajudicially killed.
Balochistan is bleeding. There is a serious human rights crisis in Balochistan. Balochistan is occupied and colonized by a rogue army of Pakistan, which is run by O-level metric pass journals. They lack political wisdom and knowledge.
The Jafar Express train was meant to carry passengers safely across Pakistan. Instead, in March this year, it became a symbol of a war Pakistan refuses to name. Armed fighters seized the train in Balochistan, triggering a bloody confrontation. Civilians, soldiers, and railway staff were killed. Responsibility was claimed by the Balochistan Liberation Army, or the BLA, one of the several armed groups fighting the Pakistani state's brutalities in Balochistan. Pakistan's military called it terrorism. But for many Baloch, it was the violent eruption of decades of ignored grievances. The railway line cuts through the land that is rich in minerals, but poor in human rights. For the Pakistani state, attacks like this justify more troops, more raids, and more arrests. For the Baloch, each military operation deepens the belief that peaceful resistance is impossible.
बलूचिस्तान में ये जो ट्रेन का उन्होंने हाईजैक किया है, ये बड़ा सिग्निफिकेंट है। पाकिस्तान की फौज का स्टाइल है कि वो रंगत दिखाते हैं, वो अपने F-16 ले आएंगे, तोपे ले आएंगे, टैंक ले आएंगे और जनता को, जनार्दन को उसमें कुचल देंगे। ये अब अपनी मौत मर रहे हैं।
Pakistan Army, let's be clear, is a very strong and professional army. We should not underestimate it. However, their wrong policies and the policies of their government have encouraged what is called vociferous tendencies across Pakistan.
पूरी दुनिया की आंखें अब बलूचिस्तान की ओर है और बलूचिस्तान, मुझे तो लगता है अब समय की बात है। No army can withstand the strength of an idea whose time has come.
The Baloch struggle did not begin with guns. It began with broken promises. When Pakistan was created in 1947, the former princely state of Kalat was forcibly absorbed. Almost immediately, resistance followed.
Balochistan, the movement has been there for many years. The writ of the Pakistan government doesn't run in a large part of that province. And Balochistan, if you recall, even in 1947, the Khan of Kalat refused to succeed to Pakistan. When they refused to secede to Pakistan, they were forcibly taken over. And the Khan of Kalat was forced to submit. So there's always been problems as far as Balochistan is concerned.
The Baloch people have always resisted back, have always fought back, have never surrendered their national cause, have never surrendered their identity, have never surrendered their right to be free and live with dignity.
Since then, Balochistan has witnessed repeated uprisings, each crushed by the Pakistan Army. each followed by new pledges of development that never arrived.
Killing of Balochs, who actually the ones who taught them how to say kalma, they are killing Baloch and with impunity.
Every day we receive through social media information that the people have been kidnapped, and then also we are receiving information that those who have been abducted by the Pakistani army is killing them and throwing their dead bodies in different areas. Sometimes we receive them on streets, sometimes on roadsides.
Despite being Pakistan's most resource-rich province, Balochistan today remains its poorest. Natural gas from the Baloch land powers homes in Lahore and Islamabad, while many Baloch villages remain without electricity.
In Balochistan! Human rights violation! In Balochistan!
Human rights groups accuse the Pakistan Army and the intelligence agencies of running campaign of enforced disappearances. Thousands of Baloch men, students, activists, poets have vanished over the years. Some are later found dead. Many are never found at all. Islamabad denies the allegations. But families continue to protest, often for years, holding pictures of their loved ones the state insists do not exist.
If Pakistan left without accountability, and if the conflict of Balochistan left ignored and no one have support or spoken about it, we will see a human tragedy. We will see a tragedy that we might have not seen in recent past.
Not all resistance in Balochistan is armed. The Baloch Yakjehti Committee emerged as a peaceful movement demanding accountability for disappearances and extrajudicial killings. At its forefront is Maharang Baloch, a young doctor who became a voice of the grieving families. Her marches drew tens of thousands. Her message was simple: give us our missing people back.
मैं पैगाम देना चाहती हूँ इस जलसेगाह से और उस नाम नेआज कौम परस्त को।
Pakistan's response was arrest. Authorities detained her in Quetta, accusing her of disturbing public order. Rights groups say her arrest was illegal, punishment not for violence but for exposing the state abuse.
A huge humanitarian crisis is right now happening in Balochistan, and the government, state, all the judiciary is facilitating this crackdown. Baloch masses have no right for peaceful assembly, have no right for freedom of expression, and their all rights have been snatched.
As the peaceful voices are silenced,
against such injustice and in the defense of my nation, my land, and for the protection of our natural resources.
Armed resistance has grown more brutal. The BLA and its allied groups have escalated attacks targeting Chinese engineers, the Pakistani military convoys, and security installations.
Baloch freedom fighters have been launching attacks on targets which they've been picking up and have been achieving some remarkable success. So much so that senior political leaders in Pakistan, the Pakistan Army will never admit it, but senior political leaders in Pakistan are now openly saying that the Pakistani state authority or the writ of the state has ceased to exist in virtually all of Balochistan.
This is, you can say, the final steps which a nation feels that they have to resist. So this is some sort of resistance, sacrificing their lives is some sort of final call. They have pleaded, sent messages, written many letters, made press conferences that asking China to keep away from Balochistan and asking Pakistan keep away from these lands.
In a dramatic shift, now educated Baloch women have also entered the battlefields, carrying out suicide bombings that have shaken Pakistan and the entire world. These attacks struck at the morale of the Pakistan Army and the Frontier Corps, challenging the narrative that the insurgency is weak or fading. The Baloch activists say that the heart of the conflict is resource plunder. Under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, Beijing has been given sweeping access to ports, mines, and infrastructure with guarantees by the Pakistani troops. Gold, copper, coal, and gas leave Balochistan. Profits leave with them.
Baloch Liberation Army or the Balochistan Liberation Front, they say, this is what they believe, they say that China is supporting our occupier. China is actually strengthening the weakened Pakistan. Without the help of China, without the aid of China and the other countries around the world, Pakistan cannot survive. But Pakistan is surviving, and they're continuing their brutality in Balochistan with the support and aid of China.
Local communities say they are displaced, militarized, and excluded from the decision making.
The people of Gawadar, which is a flagship project of the CPEC, Gawadar port, the people of Gawadar, they are marching continuously for water because there's no water for the local people. There are no jobs for the local people. And even they have, systematically kept the Baloch away from these CPEC projects.
Now, new fears are emerging after reports of meeting between Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir and the US President Donald Trump. The Baloch activists fear that the Baloch land could next be opened for rare earth mining. Pakistan has not confirmed any of such plans. But the Baloch leaders warn that the decisions about their land are made without them, whether by Islamabad, Beijing, or Washington. What Pakistan calls counterterrorism has become a full-scale internal security crisis.
The reality is Balochistan is a war zone. There is a war going on. The Baloch armed organization are struggling for the freedom of Balochistan.
Militancy is spreading. Civil resistance is being criminalized. Trust between the state and Baloch society is completely collapsing. Each arrest fuels anger. Each bombing now hardens the military response. While Pakistan insists it can crush the Baloch insurgency with force, the history here suggests otherwise. Until the state confronts enforced disappearances, political exclusion, and the exploitation of the Baloch land, this conflict will continue. On trains, on roads, and in the hearts of the people who say they are no longer afraid. Balochistan remains Pakistan's open wound, one that the Pakistani military operations have failed to resolve. Dhurandhar has brought Balochistan to the global spotlight. Will the part 2 of Dhurandhar tell us more about the Baloch struggle against Pakistan? As the illegal arrests mount and enforced disappearances intensify, the question remains, how long will the Pakistani state repression continue in Balochistan, and how long will the blood flow and the silence persist globally?